Hello learners, today we will be studying a very important topic on elements of design, which is a part of home science and hospitality topic. So first let's see what are elements of design and what is design. So design is a creativity or it is a skill to arrange lines, forms, shapes, colors and textures into a coherent whole. It is a selection and arrangement of materials with the purpose of making it beautiful and in order. Basically, you are combining various forms of line, color, shape, texture and bringing it together to make it aesthetically pleasing. Designing can be done in any field. It can be done in the field of garment construction, textiles, automobile, interior design, and it can be any designing field. So designing is done with proper planning and purpose. Fashion professionals uses understanding of design, which is called the vocabulary to express design options. Now let's look into different classification of design. So there are two types of designs. First one is structural design and decorative design. As you can see in front of you in the images, structural design is nothing but it is created by line. It is basically created while producing any garment or manufacturing any garment, and it is therefore an inherent feature in the garment because of the constructional details which are assembled while stitching a garment. Examples of structural designs are seams, collars, pockets which you see in your jeans, etc. So all these components are made while constructing any garment, and therefore they are part of the structure. Now let's look into the second type of design, which is decorative design. Decorative design is also known as applied design. As you can see in the image in front of you, the golden flowers have been pasted on top of the basic structure of the garment. Therefore, applied design is a surface ornament for any prepared structure. So you are ornamenting a prepared structure which has been already made. You are pasting or stitching an additional feature on top of it. Some of the commonly used applied designs are, it can be a patch pocket which is pasted on top of any constructed dress or a garment. It can be trims. It can be embroidery which is done after making a garment, sequence work, or buttons which are applied after constructing the garment. So I hope structural and applied design is clear to you. I will again show you these images. In the first image, you will see that the collar has been made. There are flares in the lower part of the garment and box pleat is there. So therefore, all these are part of the structural design, whereas in applied design, elements are pasted on top of already constructed structure. Moving on to the next element, let's understand what are elements of design. So elements of design are four types which is shown in the flow chart. Designing process basically involves knowledge of all the design elements and principles which are used to create a new product. Product can again be automobile, it can be a drawing room, a living room, or it can also be a garment. So elements of design are valid in various fields. Elements are nothing but building block of design. The element of the design provide a platform for designing aesthetically pleasing garments. There are four types of elements of design. The first one is line, color, then silhouette and texture. We will be discussing about all these elements in further detail one by one. So let's begin with line. The line as element of design is a very essential element of design. Line basically measures and connects the distance between 2 points. It encloses and divides the space and defines the shape or outline of the body and the finished garment. Line can be a structural or decorative line. For example, if I talk about structural design, buttons on your placket will be classified under the structural line element, whereas if you see a print or any lace which is vertically placed on your garment will come under the decorative line. It provides a visual dimension of length and width. So your eyes are moving from one point to the other, basically from top to bottom or bottom to top. So therefore it gives an illusion of height in most cases. Here are various images you can see on your screen. These are the different examples of vertical lines here. You can see printed vertical lines on the dress. Then in the second image, you can see a V neckline where it is representing vertical effect. The third image is also of a V neckline with a black stripe on the neckline. It is giving a illusion of height. Then there are other constructional lines. In the last image you can see how constructional lines are creating a vertical illusion, and in the kurta you can see tucks and darts aligned vertically one after the other, and all these are basically examples of vertical line. Next, let's talk about horizontal lines. So horizontal lines are lines which will make your eye move from across the body. They will help you in eye movement from left to right or right to left, and therefore it gives an illusion of broadness while you are looking at any such garment. In the images here you will see that how horizontal lines are depicted in the garment. In the first image you will see printed horizontal lines, and even the belt is horizontally placed on the garment. Then in the second image, a printed skirt with horizontal designs, zigzag patterns, etc., but placed horizontally. And again in the third image you will see multicolored broad lines which are placed horizontally one after the other. Let's look at some more examples of horizontal lines as it is shown on your screen. These are some further examples of horizontal lines. So there are other ways by which you can incorporate horizontal lines in the garment are yokes and seams, off-shoulder dresses as it is shown in the very first image. Apart from that, horizontal fabric designs, wide brim hats which are having illusion of horizontal lines, necklines, for example turtle neckline, square neckline, all these are also part of horizontal design. Again, horizontal lines can also be incorporated through waist belts as it is shown in the image below, that a brown color belt is giving a illusion of horizontal line. Then buttons, if they are arranged in horizontal manner, will also give illusion of horizontal lines. So I hope from the images it is clear to you how not just by printed patterns but by other garment constructional methods also you can represent horizontal lines. So let's move to the next kind of lines, which are diagonal lines. Diagonal lines are more associated with movement and energy, and they make your eye move from one part of the body to the other part diagonally. They make the eye move from one side of the body to the other along with movement from top to bottom of the body or vice versa. Various examples of diagonal lines are a diagonal line printed garment, suit and lapels on the suit or jackets. They are also placed diagonally. Then raglan sleeves as it is shown in the image. The guy is wearing a blue and white t-shirt, and here you will see how raglan sleeves are also representing a diagonal line. Apart from that, halter tops are also a very great example to incorporate diagonal lines in your garment. So in the image you can here see that the burgundy top which the girl is wearing, the halter lines are representing diagonal effect, and therefore it creates a sense of excitement, movement and energy in the garment. So whenever you are going for a party, you can opt for diagonal lines. Another example of diagonal line, you can see here how the width of diagonal lines are affecting the effect it is giving on the viewer. So in the first image you will see the skirt is making the figure look shorter and wider because the diagonal lines are very broad, whereas in the second and the third image you will see that the diagonal lines are creating a positive and slimming effect in the garment, and therefore they are creating a sense of excitement in the garment. So therefore if thinner diagonal lines or if closer diagonal lines are printed on the garment, you will see that they are giving a illusion of tallness and slimming effect in the garment, whereas if the diagonal lines are very broad, they will give illusion of shorter and wider illusion on the garment. We will now look at another category of lines, which are the curved lines. So curved lines are mostly seen in garments which are worn by women, and they give an illusion of roundness and softness. They are also representing femininity and gracefulness, and thus are usually used in girls or women's wear. These lines generally follow the couture of the body and they create a very flattering effect. Rounded lines give appearance of fullness and mass. So let's look at how curved lines can be incorporated in your garment. So here in the images shown on the slide, you will be able to notice that not just by printed design but also by other elements, curved lines can be shown on the garment. First example of curved lines are fabric design. The next example is of necklines. So here in the image you will see a rounded neckline is creating a curved effect. Also curved collars like Peter Pan collar also give effect of curved lines. Certain sleeves, for example puff sleeves, will also give illusion of curved lines. Then pocket flaps, which are round in shape, scalloped edges, scalloped hems in a dress or a top, as it is also shown in the red dress on the slide. Next, hemlines which are curved will also give illusion of curved lines. Apart from that, yokes and hats which have rounded edges will give illusion of curved lines. So curved lines are mostly seen in feminine garment and women's wear garments. Here in images you will also see how buttons are placed in curved effect, and therefore they are giving an illusion of curved lines. The second image is also showing how white and black are in contrast and the black line is creating a curved effect. The last image is representing curved lines by cowls on the dress, and therefore it is giving a very soft feel to the garment, and all these garments are mostly enhancing the femininity of the garment. Now on the next slide, let's see how broken lines, or you can say zigzag lines, also provide a very interesting effect in the silhouette of the garment. So these broken lines are consisting both horizontal as well as vertical lines. The width of the garment can be reduced by the use of broken lines. These broken lines provide a sense of energy and excitement to the garment. You can make any boring plain t-shirt interesting by printing or making broken lines on the garments. So again, broken lines are also suitable for party wear garments, but if you have to choose your garments for an formal occasion, you should be choosing vertical or horizontal lines. The second element of design is known as silhouette. So we will now be talking about silhouette. A garment silhouette is defined by shape of the body and line of the garment. Silhouette is basically a first impression which you see if you are viewing any object or garment from a distance. So if you are seeing anything against a contrasting background, or if you are looking at a shadow of the garment from a little distance, the first thing which you will be noticing is the outline of the garment, also known as the silhouette of the garment. It is most dominant and virtual element of garment, as it is the first thing which you notice from a distance, which is visible to the eye. So it forms first impression of the garment. There are many silhouettes which are available in dresses, t-shirts, pants. We will now look on to what all are the different kinds and examples of silhouette. So here in the image you will notice how different silhouettes can be seen in a white colored wedding gown. The first pattern, you will see that the upper part of the body is fitted, whereas the lower part is flared. In the second image, you can easily notice that the flare are towards the bottom of the garment, and they basically start from the hip area. Then if you notice the second last image, you will see that it is a very slim silhouette, and the dress is hugging the body, and therefore these are different kinds of silhouettes which can be created for a dress. Let's look at now different categories of silhouettes which are widely available in the market. So the first category of silhouette is called as the natural body silhouette. The natural body silhouette, as also shown on the image, in the screen, you will see that it is a stretch body suit which follows the natural curves of the body. The natural body silhouette follows your body silhouette, and therefore it can be seen in case of stretch body suit and swimsuits. It basically gives a very tight fit to the garment, and it emphasizes the body curves, and there is little chance to hide your figure problems. So therefore you should be wearing such garments where you need to enhance the silhouette of your body, and if you want to hide body curves or body deformities, then you should be avoiding natural body silhouette. We will now be talking about other kinds of silhouettes, for example A-line silhouette. Here you will see that A-line silhouette basically resembles the letter A of the English alphabets. Here the silhouette basically flares from the bottom of the garment, and there is a very slight flare. Here in the dress you will also notice that A-line silhouette is basically following the silhouette of letter A. Other silhouettes which can be widely seen in the market are the sheath silhouette, the tent silhouette, which resembles the shape of a tent, and therefore it has a lot of gathers and flare in the hem or hemline of the garment. Next is the high-waisted silhouette. So in high-waisted silhouette, your waistline is not falling at the natural waistline, but it is a little higher as compared to the natural waistline of the body. Some more silhouettes which are also widely available in market are the yoke silhouette, the empire silhouette, and the blouson silhouette. So if you notice the first image, you will see that the lace pattern in the black dress is representing a yoke, and the bottom is representing a plain black fabric. So these are two different pieces of fabric which are stitched together to create a yoke. Then the empire silhouette is shown in the white dress, and the blouson silhouette, which is a little fuller on the waistline, is shown in again the black dress on the right side. Some more silhouettes which are there are the shirt dress, the tunic, and asymmetrical closing silhouette. As it is shown on the slide, you will notice that the shirt silhouette consists of an open placket on the center front of the garment, and the tunic is nothing but a long top which is ending somewhere on the thigh area or below the thigh near your knees. Asymmetrical closing is also a silhouette in which both the sides, the left and the right, are not symmetrical to one another. Some more silhouettes which are available are the pegged silhouette, the princess line silhouette as shown in the images on the slide. In addition, you will also see silhouettes like the hourglass silhouette. So, the hourglass silhouette is similar to perfect feminine silhouette, which consists of a fuller bust, a small waistline and wide hips. The most prominent feature of this silhouette is waistline, which is narrow. This is very commonly seen in wedding gowns or other gowns which are constructed using an hourglass silhouette. So, in this silhouette the waist is very thin, whereas the bust and the hips are a little fuller, giving it a very narrow waist effect. This looks very feminine and gives a very soft look to the whole dress. So, I hope silhouettes was clear to you. Now we will be moving to the third element of design, which is color. Color is also another complex and stimulating element of design. There are n number of color which are available in nature, and color, when you are viewing a color, you will notice that it is nothing but light which is present in different wavelengths, which is striking your eyes. Objects have no color of their own. However, when a light strikes on the retina of your eye, you will notice that mostly all the colors are reflected back, but just one color gets absorbed. So, therefore, the color which gets absorbed is the color which you are able to view. In front of you, you will see a color wheel. On the color wheel, you will see there are 12 colors, and there is yellow, red and blue as primary colors. Apart from that, there are secondary colors like green, orange and purple. These colors are further classified under two categories, which are the warm colors and the cool colors. So, as the word warm word suggests, it represents more activity, it represents fire, it represents sun. On the other hand, cool colors represent very calm and soothing effect. So, colors under this category are blue, green, purple and various shades and tints of blue and green. Whereas, in warm color you will notice that shades of red, orange and yellow are easily visible in this spectrum. Colors have various characteristics. They provide a sense of excitement, optimism and creativity. Color has the power to represent different emotions. Color also symbolizes peace, calmness and harmony. If warm colors are skipped and cool colors are opted, they will represent peace, calmness and harmony. So, with the help of color wheel and the knowledge of color wheel, we are basically able to make it easier for designing any beautiful garment. So, these color wheels will help you create different garments, or it can be used in other fields like automobile engineering or developing a very beautiful wall in the house. So, using the color wheel, you will be able to understand how different colors are representing different emotions. For example, if there is red color in any room, it will represent more activity. Therefore, in your workplaces or workrooms, colors related to red color scheme should be painted, because they will be providing more excitement and optimism. They will also enhance creativity. Whereas in places, for example, spas or parlors or meditation hall where you need to calm yourself down, you should be using more cool colors because they are representing peace, calmness and harmony, and therefore you will be able to be able to meditate better in such color schemes. Now let's look at various color schemes which are available. So in the slide here you will notice that there are 5 types of color schemes. Some of them are contrasting color schemes, the other are analogous, they are related color schemes like analogous color schemes. We will be talking in detail about each of the color schemes, but first let's understand that what all dimensions are related to color. So color has 3 dimensions. The first one is hue, second is value, and third is intensity. So in the image here you will notice that hue is the actual color. So you are able to see all the colors of the color wheel in the hue. It's the color itself. Whereas in value you will see that there is mixing of other colors in the intensity of the original red color. And the third aspect is intensity. Let's understand what are the meaning behind these different dimensions of color. So the first one is the hue. Hue basically refers to the color itself. It is the color which is visible to the eye when the surface is viewed under the light. Value, on the other hand, refers to degree of darkness or lightness of the color. Here you are adding a little, other colors are being added in this, like white or black is added in value. And intensity is the brightness or dullness of color. So viewers, now let's break for a short time and let's meet after a small break. Thank you.
कभी आपने सोचा है कि आप वर्ष भर पढ़ाई करते हैं, कक्षा में होने वाले प्रत्येक मासिक या त्रैमासिक टेस्ट को सहजता से उत्तीर्ण भी कर लेते हैं, लेकिन ऐसा क्या होता है कि जब परीक्षाएं आती हैं तो हम कुछ परेशान से हो जाते हैं, कुछ घबराने सा लगते हैं। क्या परीक्षा के इस भय से हम स्वयं को मुक्त कर सकते हैं? क्या इसके लिए कोई विधि, कोई मार्गदर्शक है? जीवन अनंत संभावनाओं से भरा है, इसीलिए परीक्षाओं से घबराने की आवश्यकता बिल्कुल भी नहीं है। परीक्षा एक निरंतर चलने वाली प्रक्रिया है। इनके चलते आप अपने जीवन को क्षति न पहुंचाएं, धैर्य से काम लें। जब हम हंसते मुस्कुराते हैं तो अपने आप हम सहज और तनाव मुक्त हो जाते हैं। इसीलिए परीक्षा के समय हमेशा प्रसन्न चित्त रहिए, चिंता छोड़िए और चुनौतियों से लड़िए। समय सारणी बनाकर नियोजित रूप से परीक्षा की तैयारी करिए। समय का प्रबंधन और सदुपयोग करना सीखिए। तनाव मुक्त हो जब हम परीक्षा में स्वयं से ही अनुस्पर्धा करते हैं, तब हम निश्चित ही बेहतर कर पाते हैं। इसी बेहतर को करने में NIOS की परीक्षा प्रणाली शिक्षार्थी का सतत सहयोग करती है। समय प्रबंधन के लिए शिक्षार्थी पूर्ण रूप से स्वतंत्र रहता है। वर्ष में 2 बार होने वाली मुख्य परीक्षाएं इसमें बहुत सहयोग करती हैं। इसके अतिरिक्त कभी भी परीक्षा देने की सुविधा शिक्षार्थी को बारंबार उनके समयानुसार परीक्षा देने के अवसरों को बढ़ा देती है। परीक्षा की तैयारी पूरी होने पर ही NIOS का शिक्षार्थी परीक्षा देता है। अर्जित अंकों का ट्रांसफर ऑफ क्रेडिट 5 वर्षों में 9 बार परीक्षा के अवसर दिव्यांग शिक्षार्थियों को अतिरिक्त समय व सह लेखक की सुविधा, मूल्यांकन में गोपनीयता के लिए बारकोड व OMR का उपयोग, क्षेत्रीय भाषाओं में उत्तर लिखने की स्वतंत्रता देशव्यापी शिक्षार्थियों को NIOS द्वारा दी जा रही है। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की अनुपम कृति एग्जाम वॉरियर्स निश्चित ही प्रेरणा बोध से भरी है। आप भय मुक्त होकर पढ़ाई करते रहें। लगातार अध्ययन से आप अवश्य अपने स्वर्णिम भविष्य का निर्माण कर पाएंगे।
Welcome back, viewers, after the break. So let's continue with dimensions of colors. We were doing hue, value and intensity. Intensity, as I told you, refers to the brightness or dullness of any color. Now, how will you make any color bright or dull? It is basically by the addition of grey color or black or addition of white color to the pure color. For example, yellow color can be mixed with grey color to create a little greenish tint or a greenish yellow color. So as it is shown on the slide, you will notice that how mixing of grey is changing the intensity. The intensity of the original yellow color is reduced. And here in the second image you will see that how value has been affected. By mixing lighter color, which is white color, to any pure color, you are increasing the value or lightness of the color, whereas by mixing a black color in the original color, you are decreasing the intensity of the garment. The value is becoming lower by mixing black color. So in the second image you will be able to see how light color and dark colors are changing the value, and therefore the darkness and lightness of the colors are also getting changed. However, hue is the original shade of the color. For example, green, yellow, red, blue, they are original shades or original hue of any color, whereas if other colors are mixed in these original color, it will change the original hue. For instance, red color can be converted in orange color by mixing yellow in it, whereas yellow and blue, if mixed together, will create green color. So the original hue is changed. Now let's look at the next slide, which is talking about color scheme. So there are a lot of color schemes which are available in the market. You will see that these color schemes can either be related to each other or they can be contrasting or not related to each other. So in the related color scheme, we will be studying the first category, which is the monochromatic color scheme. The monochromatic color scheme means that the color is made up of only single color or one color, and either white or black has been mixed to that color. For example, in red or blue, if you are mixing white or black, you will see that the original color is getting changed, but the hue remains in the family of blue, for instance. So in the image you will be able to see how different shades and tints of blue color and purple color are displayed. Like in the purple flower in front of you, you will see that how lilac color, dark purple color is displayed. So monochromatic color scheme consists of just a single color, but there can be a little variation in that color. So any painting or any room or any garment which has shades of single color, for example blue, red, yellow or purple, will be considered under the monochromatic color scheme. The next color scheme is the analogous color scheme. So the analogous color scheme also comes under the related color scheme because here the colors are related to one another. In this color scheme, there is use of 3 colors in total, and these colors are lying close to each other on the color wheel. As you can see, these colors are adjacent to one another. In the top image, you will see that green color, blue color and yellow green color are lying next to each other, and therefore if you combine these 3 colors, you will be able to see a very put together garment and analogous color scheme garment. In the image also these colors have been used, and you can see how blue, green and yellow green color are used to create very interesting effect. Also it is also giving an illusion of height, because if you are using colors which are related to one another, you are enhancing length of the garment or you are enhancing height of the garment. So by creating any interesting look, you can use the top and bottom of analogous color scheme, and you can combine it with third color which is also part of the analogous color scheme. For example, you can take a clutch, you can take ring or some jewelry, or your heels or your footwear can be of analogous color scheme. Now let's move on to the next category of color scheme, which is contrasting color scheme. So we just completed related color scheme. The next category is contrasting color scheme. So in this color scheme, those colors which are not related to each other or are mostly opposite to each other on the color wheel are basically categorized under the contrasting color scheme. This category has various color schemes under it. These are mentioned on your slide. The first category is complementary color scheme, second is split complementary color scheme, third is triad color scheme, and then there is tetrad color scheme. So let's move to the contrasting color scheme, which is complementary color scheme. Here you will notice that the colors are lying opposite to each other. So if you look at the image, the first image of the color scheme, you will see red and green are lying opposite to each other on the color scheme, and therefore they will come under the category of contrasting. Contrasting color scheme also give a very interesting feature that they are basically cutting your height. So if a person is short in height, they should avoid contrasting color scheme because they will reduce the height. The second category is similar to the one we just did. It is the split complementary. So here also we are using opposite colors, but instead of the exact opposite color of the color scheme, we are using the 2 adjacent colors. For example, here the opposite color to light blue is orange, light orange basically, but instead of taking light orange, we are taking the 2 colors which are lying adjacent to that color. So we are splitting the color scheme. So here you will notice that blue, orange, yellow and red orange are basically the 3 colors which are combined to create this painting. So contrary to the complementary color scheme, split complementary consists of 3 colors. Now the next category is your triad color scheme. Triad color scheme also uses 3 color, but here these colors are lying equidistant to one another. For example, red, blue and yellow lie equidistant to one another. The gap between all the 3 colors is the same. So in the image in front of you, you are able to see how interesting garments can be clubbed together to create such look. So a red color coat is clubbed with a blue pant and a yellow clutch or a bag. Similar to this, the next color scheme is the tetrad color scheme. So the word tetra represents 4, and therefore this color scheme uses 4 colors. So this scheme includes 4 hues that lie equidistant to one another on the color scheme, such as red, blue purple, yellow orange and green. These, you can see how a square has been drawn on the color wheel, and therefore the selection of the 4 colors have been made by drawing a square, and the gap between all the 4 colors is the same. After every 2 color, 1 color has been picked. So learners, remember from the word tetra that always there will be 4 colors in the tetrad color scheme. Now we will be moving on to the most interesting and the last element of design, which is texture. So you all must have been wearing different categories of garments like cotton, silk and synthetic garment, but you will notice that how textures of the garment will vary. Silk is a very shiny texture, so it will reflect a lot of light, whereas cotton is a plain texture, it will give a very plain look, whereas wool will provide a very bulky and a rough texture. So texture is nothing but it is the surface appearance of the fabric. Texture is the feel or touch of any fabric or garment. It is the only element that appears to the 3 senses. So whenever you touch a fabric, you will see, you can feel the kind of texture it is providing, and you will also feel that there is some sound which can be made from friction of 2 garments or 2 fabrics. So texture can be defined and analyzed according to the tactile quality, the visual quality of the surface, and also the hearing quality. As you will see in organza or tissue fabric, you will be able to hear a little crinkling sound in the garment. So textures can be either rough or they can be smooth. Textures can be stiff or soft. Textures can be thick or thin, and other adjectives which you can use with textures are they can be furry, like in winters you wear a lot of furry garments, hairy, fuzzy, crisp, spongy, rich and sturdy. So denim is a good example of sturdy garments, and these are created by different fibers such as cotton, silk, wool or other synthetic fibers like polyester, nylon, acrylic. So in the images you will be able to observe that the first image is representing silk fabric. It is giving a very shiny look to it. The second image is showing cotton fabric, which is giving a very plain look to it. And third one is wool, which is giving a very bulky look to it or a fuzzy look to it. Now let's see the categories of textures. The first category of texture is structural texture, which is used to describe the weight or the visual size of the garment. It is incorporated during manufacturing of the garment. So while the fabric is being manufactured or while the garment is being manufactured, the structural texture is incorporated in the garment. So here, for example, I have taken an image of a woolen sweater. You will see how the rib knit on the woolen fabric is providing a very visually bulky look to it, and therefore when you wear such sweaters, it will give an illusion of increased body size. So therefore structural garments are an integral part of the manufacturing, during the manufacturing of the garment. And contrary to this, we will now look at the second category of texture, which is added visual texture. So added visual texture is when a surface design is integrated into the garment. In the image you will be able to see how 3D flowers are creating an added visual effect. These textures can also be made on the garment or can be stitched on the garment after the garment has been made. For example, you can put patch pockets For example, in children's wear, you will notice Mickey Mouse pockets or heart-shaped pockets. So these are also providing an added visual effect. These visual effects are not done while the garment is being constructed, rather it is made after the garment is being constructed. So fabric ornamentation is an important part of this kind of texture. Some other examples of added visual textures are logos on garments, patterns which are printed. Then you can also add pictures to the garment and different sizes of prints can also create an added visual effect. Now let's look at the different categories of textures which are there. So here you will notice that different textures will create different illusion on the body or the wearer. The first category is soft and clingy texture. So as you can see in the image, on the first image you will see that how the clingy fabric, which is a hosiery fabric, is hugging the body, and it is also emphasizing body curves. Such kind of textures are commonly seen on t-shirts, jerseys, and also in garments which are constructed using chiffon fabrics. In the second fabric, you will see that satin fabric is used. In the image you will see that how a dress of satin fabric is made, and it is also shiny and clingy. So clingy basically means that it is hugging the body and highlighting the body curves. Now let's move on to the next category of texture, which is shiny texture. So silk is a very common example. Another good example which will make shiny texture is rayon fabric, or fabrics which have sequence work on it or zari work on it. So shiny textures will help reflect light, and it will also make the person look a little larger or wider. However, they look very classy when worn during a festive occasion or during any wedding occasion or celebratory occasion. So we will also be doing other categories of texture, for example rough texture and embossed finish texture. As you can see in the images in front of you, that embossed finish texture is given to leather fabric, and such designs can be seen on leather bags. Embossing is basically done additionally after the leather is made. It is passed through two heated rollers, and such kind of designs can be created after the leather is made. The next category of texture is rough texture. So rough and also rough and dull textures create, they are suitable for all kinds of body types. Even if you are a slim body type or an apple shaped body type or a pear body type, such textures are suitable for all body types because they hide the body deformities, they hide the body curves, and therefore they make the body look very structured and formal. Now we will be talking about the next category of texture, which are stiff textures and bulky textures. So stiff and bulky textures can be seen by a lot of people wear such textures during the winter season. So in the first image you will notice that how furry fabrics are creating a bulky, they are giving a bulky effect to the wearer. And the second image you will see a variety of stiff and bulky textures. These textures help hide body irregularities, and they also hide they also are used in various kind of garments, for example in woolen coats, in winter jackets, in pants, and also in a lot of formal wear for both women and men. These textures are used during the winter season. These textures provide warmth during the cold season, but they are also giving a little bulky effect. So they can make the wearer look a little wider if any jacket made of bulky or stiff texture is worn. So next category of texture is bulky textures and soft textures. So these textures are also similar to the previous stiff and bulky texture. Here you will notice that the bulky textures are creating a very different effect. So fleece fibers and fleece jackets, which are popular these days, can be categorized under bulky texture. They can be soft to give you a feeling of warmth, and they provide and enhance the body formalities if worn. So these textures and these fibers and fabrics are used again in winter jackets, they are used in pants, they are used in night suits, and all these textures are giving different kind of categories. Let me just give you a small recap of what all textures we have seen. So bulky textures, then you will see that stiff and bulky texture. Next is rough textures, rough and dull textures, embossed finish textures, shiny textures are there, and soft and clingy textures. So overall you will see that textures are providing a different surface appearance to fabric, and with variation in the surface appearance you will see that how the feel, touch, the quality of the fabric is basically changing. So if you change the fiber, if you change the finish on these fabrics, you will see that different textures can be created to get different appearances and different looks. So I would quickly like to recap the topics which we have done today. We have today done 4 kinds of elements of design. The first element was line. Line makes the eye movement from one direction to the other, and therefore they help the eye move from top to bottom or left to right. The second category of elements of design was silhouette. Silhouette is the outline of the fabric. The third element of design was color. Color is a very stimulating and complex element of design which can change the mood, which can create different emotions, like it can soothe your mood or it can enhance more activity in your day-to-day life. So, and the fourth category of element of design are textures. So we have covered these topics today. I hope you were able to understand. I will see you soon in the next lecture. Thank you.